Today I'll be going over the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986. The Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986 addressed the status of undocumented immigrants under legalization provisions in which 3 million undocumented immigrants obtained lawful status. Although some undocumented immigrants were able to obtain status, the process of employer sanctions in the Immigration Reform and Control Act was the driving force behind the legislation on legalization. The number of undocumented workers ranged from 8 to 12 million, which was estimated by people concerned of undocumented workers from the 1870s to early 1980s in the United States. Now I'll be going over employer sanctions that happened after the Immigration Reform and Control Act was passed. Border Patrol and Immigration and Naturalization Service, which is also known as the INS, efforts were seen as ineffective, which led to popular proposals of punishing employers for hiring undocumented workers. The IRCA represented the completion of years of social, political, and congressional debate about the perceived lack of control over the southern border. During the years, employers' sanction proposals went through several iterations. Continuing with employer sanctions, at the end of the Carter administration in 1980, the Select Commission on Immigration and Refugee Policy reported legalization as a needed balance to sanctions. Federal employer sanctions were enacted as the major feature of reform, and just by 4 members of the House of Representatives, amnesty provisions were included in the legalization. Since there were worries about members of Congress' protection, to protect the members of Congress against discrimination were included in the law. Why the Immigration Reform and Control Act matters? It matters because it introduced punishment to employers who hired undocumented immigrants who looked foreign or were not United States citizens. But the Immigration Reform and Control Act also provided undocumented immigrants lawful status in the United States.